So welcome again. We're exploring beginner's mind, and we started last week with the concept of beginner's mind, and we're going to continue flowing with that. It's a really wide topic in mindfulness, and it's also one of the foundational attitude of mindfulness, accordingly to the MBSR program, and that's how Jon Kabat-Zinn teaches it as well. So we're going to just continue on with his teachings and getting a little more in depth for some of us. So in this, today we're going to really tune into the body a little more, and I'll ask you to be really kind with yourself as we do this. And so if you notice that as soon as I say tuning into the body, you want to run for the hills, some of us that suffer of chronic pain, that can be the case. Just notice that. And so that's what mindfulness is for, right? Mindfulness is about just noticing what's rising in you. And so that we can see how we're relating to these things and how these things might be causing anxiety or stress. So this is going to be a very gentle meditation, but if at any moment you would like to tune out the direction of staying maybe with your legs or your arms or anywhere in the body, you can always just come back to the breath. So that's always the invitation. You can always do that. So let's go ahead and just, if you like to close your eyes, you can, and if not, then just leave them open. And you don't have to worry about anything right now. I'm keeping track of time. For now, all you have to do is just be here with all of us. Noticing the presence in here in this room, all of us together, all of us connecting in this way. And so if you're comfortable closing the eyes, that's fine. And if not, you can leave them open, but bringing your attention to the body right now. Noticing how you're sitting. If you're lying down, noticing how you're lying down. Now you can be lying down or standing or sitting. Doesn't really matter. So just allowing your attention to rest in the body right now. Noticing your feet, whether they're in contact with the ground or not. Maybe you're wearing socks, maybe not. And seeing if there is any sensation here, maybe the skin with the surface, the floor. The shoes, if you're wearing shoes, or the socks. And now allowing your attention to move to the rest of the body, starting with the back of the body. Noticing if you're in contact, the body's in contact with maybe the chair, or if you're lying down, maybe in contact with the mattress or the cushion. Noticing the front of the body. Now seeing if you can notice just the body breathing here. Maybe the rising of the body on the in-breath and the falling on the out-breath. And at this point, you might, if you like, you might want to take in a deep breath, noticing the rising of the body and the falling. But then just allowing the body to breathe normally. Noticing if there's anything still in the mind from the moment before, maybe a lot of thinking or maybe emotions. And if there's anything that's still persistent in the mind, that's all right. Just allow it to stay there, but move your attention to the sensation in the body as the body rises on the in-breath and falls on the out-breath. So rising and falling. Allowing the shoulders to drop if that's possible. We often hold so much tension on the shoulders. But if at this moment it doesn't seem to be working out and you can't let go of that tension, then that's all right. It'll change on its own. So just allowing it to be there for now. And now noticing if there is tension anywhere else. Tension or tightness, they are also sensations. And so we're just really getting acquainted with the body here, welcoming that to this time, giving it that much needed attention. It's often neglected. So navigating beginner's mind here and noticing every sensation as if it was the very first time you ever felt it. The tingle, the numbness, the tightness, the looseness. And if you experience any sensation that might be overwhelming for you right now, just come back to the breath. And really kindly maybe decide whether to switch your position, to maybe move around a little bit, but doing it consciously. And if you don't feel anything at all, then noticing the absence of sensation. It's all welcome here. As John would say, pulling out the welcome mat. Tuning into your breathing. Noticing the in-breath and how the air comes in through the nose, and noticing the sensation of the air coming in. So maybe you notice that it comes in a little cooler, and then it leaves the body a little warmer as it goes out into the world. So noticing that, this deep, nourishing breath. You might notice that yours is not deep, maybe shallow, maybe short, maybe it's fast, and that's all right. Can we allow for kind curiosity here at this moment towards the body? Would that be all right? And so in this particular occasion, we're gonna tune into our attention as if it was this big spotlight. And all we're doing is shining it in all the different parts of the body, as I mentioned them. And noticing what's alive in these areas. Noticing the subtle sensations, noticing the absence. And so let's come back to our feet. Maybe warmth or coolness. And now moving your attention spotlight to the legs. Noticing the lower part of the legs, the upper part of the legs, the knees that might be bent or straight. Maybe you notice discomfort in any area at this moment, in any the legs or the knees. So how about just a little bit of kindness towards this incredible machine? And if you need to, maybe just attending to shifting your position, breathing right through it, but really remaining with it, if that's possible. But if not, then shifting and doing whatever works for you, whatever you think is best, always taking care of yourself. That's all that matters. That's why we're here. And now shining this attention spotlight on your hips, the parts of the legs that might be in contact with the chair, the cushion. You might also notice sometimes that as we visit different parts of the body, they have a story sometimes. And so if you notice a story, the mind loves to tell stories, just come right back to maybe the breath or the area that we're visiting and shining the spotlight in. You notice the mind wandering away, getting distracted. That's all right. Just come back whenever it's possible for you. Notice it, and then bring your attention to the body again. In this case, to your hips. And now moving up to the upper trunk and the belly area and the lower back. Maybe you can feel the breath here at the belly, maybe not. So just noticing what's present right now in this area. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. As long as you're paying attention, you're doing this perfectly. And so what's present right now in the body, in the upper back, the chest, the lungs and the heart that are always working for us. Now moving up to your shoulders again and checking in. Is everything the same as when we started? Has anything changed? And instead of answering that with a thought or with words, really feeling right into it and noticing if anything has changed or is it still the same? How about your hands? How about the palms of your hands? Is there any sensation there? Feeling right through the hands. And the arms. Moving up to the neck, the back of the neck and the sides and the throat. Believe it or not, there's a lot happening on the throat all the time that goes unnoticed. There is swelling, there's tightness when we speak. All these parts of the body always working full time. How about the chin and the jaw? Are you clenching? How is the tongue? Where is it right now? And the nose? Maybe you can feel the breath coming in here, the sensation of the breath, maybe not. Whatever you feel is all right. That's your experience. Noticing your ears, the back of the head, the top, the crown of the head. And now let's expand that attention spotlight. And let's just shine it all over the body, all the way from the crown of your head, all the way to the tips of your toes, shining this bright light. And really feeling through the body as it shines on and noticing what's here right now, all sensations. And again, if something is too overwhelming, just come back to your breathing. Take care of yourself, please. You can always open your eyes as well. You can move around. We're always doing it consciously. Attending to what is most needed right now. Someone once said to me, learn to think about your body as if it was a child. And every sensation expresses something. Learn to tune in. So I took that to heart. And so now just staying here, shining this attention spotlight all over for just a couple of minutes. In the words of Mary Oliver, she says, one day you finally knew what you had to do and began. Though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice, though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug on your ankles, mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do. Though the wind pried with its stiff fingers on their very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible, it was already late enough and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voice, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice, which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life you could save. So if your eyes are closed, you can go ahead and open them as beginner's mind, noticing what's in front of you. If it's a screen, noticing what's behind, allowing the light to just gently come in, making up the images that are in front of you, which are just a projection. And so we're exploring beginner's mind, and the body is really one of those beautiful ways to tune into beginner's mind, because beginner's mind takes one thing. And it's very important that we remember that while practicing beginner's mind, we need intention, first of all. We need to be able to bring our attention to the moment. And then kind curiosity. So being curious about what's happening, but kindly. It's not forceful, but it's just really opening up to this beautiful world and everything else. And so when we practice this practice with the body, we're kind of becoming curious towards what's happening in the body. So in this way, we're kind of getting away from all the judgment, all the interpretations. As you might notice, even when we visit the body, there's judgment with the sensation, right? There's labeling of things, and every label kind of has an interpretation in our minds. Some are good, some are bad, some feel good. And so we're just noticing everything and holding it all in awareness. So that's what mindfulness really is, holding it all in this vast awareness and being able to see experience as it unfolds right in front of us. So if we're not tuning into the body constantly and often and bringing in this beginner's mind, chances are that kind of we're walking like this, completely just tied up in a little knot. And so if you want to try that right now, I'd like you to try this right now. Just follow your arms and your hands under. And now try your feet yourself. Try to bring your hand, your right or left hand to your mouth, and see if you can do that. See if you can bring your hand. Okay. So that's almost impossible, right? So what happens is all this tightness, I had a teacher once that said, tension requires attention. And so if we're constantly walking around like this is going to come up to be something else later, right? Aches, pains, the body's going to express itself at some point, even if we don't want to. So it's nice to just kind of take this moment to self-care and to really tune into it. And so that was the meditation for today. And the meditation continues. That was the formal meditation for today, but it continues because now we're going to go into groups, into breakout rooms. And you can share what your experience was, and this is an open space. So that was, one of the hardest things you ever did. Share that and see why. And so what I'll do is I'll come to I'll come to the rooms if I can. I probably can't visit all of them, but I'll pop in. And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer some questions or even help you with maybe some self-inquiry into what you experienced. Okay, so I'm gonna send you all to rooms. Let me just check the chat room really quick just to make sure that there's no questions. Okay, so I think we're all good to go. All right, so I'll see you all in your rooms. Let's see. All right. So you're gonna get a little prompt in the window that's gonna say join room. Just click on it, and then that will allow you to go to your room. And I'll call you back, so you don't have to worry about time. I'll call you back in a little bit. All right, have fun. See you soon.